What's up, everybody? It's Jared with Capture the Magic, and as we're getting close to the end of 2025 somehow, and Epic Universe is just about 6 months old, there's still some things coming online at Epic Universe. So in today's video, we're kind of have a whole roundup of everything going on at Epic, including Universal confirming some things coming to the park. There was a sighting of the dragons in Isle of Berk that we're going to take a look at, and the Christmas decorations that have shown up at Epic Universe as well. So this is going to be a whole roundup of the latest things going on at Epic Universe. So we're going to go through it all, talk about it, and give some thoughts on it. So most of these are going to come from Universal Parks news today. And this first one here is, we talked about in a previous video that permits were found for an expansion at Epic Universe. We're still not sure on the exact details of that. A lot of the speculation and things that I have heard, that is going to be in addition to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Ministry of Magic. But Universal did essentially confirm these permits, or I suppose you could call them rumors out there. And it said, following a construction permit filed earlier this month, Universal Orlando has seemingly confirmed that Epic Universe is already set to expand. They said to the Orlando Business Journal, which got an official statement, said, quote, Universal Orlando is preparing some exciting additions to Universal Epic Universe in the future. Details about specific developments will be shared in due time. Now, I will say that it's interesting they didn't say exciting addition. They said exciting additions, so implying that there will be more announcements about things coming to Epic Universe, which is something that I've talked about for months, that I've been hearing from people within Universal, that there are things coming, more than one thing to Epic Universe. Unsure of the scope of that. It could be, maybe multiple expansions will be announced. It could be this expansion specifically that those permits referred to, but also could be entertainment options, other short-term things, because this park definitely does need some help when it comes to the wait times and getting more people, being able to ride attractions without as high wait times, getting these ride operations more efficient. So it could be small things, it could be big things. But I would assume it might be a mix of both, considering in the short term, you just have this issue of wait times that really is the biggest hurdle I think that they currently have, and then obviously wanting more people in this park. But what they're referring to, and if you're unaware when it comes to this announcement off that permit, is that there was a permit filed on November 7th for site utilities and foundation work and new construction on a 150,000 square foot location in Epic Universe, and no other details were given. And 150 square feet is roughly 3 acres. So if you look at the overall, map when it comes to Epic Universe, you essentially have areas that would work, which would be Ministry of Magic, Dark Universe potentially, the expansion pad for Super Nintendo World. There's also a massive expansion pad that they could use for an entire land. So I think really when you're looking at this, it's probably more than likely Ministry of Magic or the Dark Universe. But from everything I've been hearing, I do think it's going to be Ministry of Magic getting the first edition into Epic Universe. So in typical Universal fashion, we may not hear about anything till well into the construction progress of whatever they are building, but at some point, I'm sure they will give us some details there. So that is one thing coming to Epic Universe sometime in the future. And another thing that it might seem like good news, but it probably isn't good news if you're talking about annual passes, which is that Epic Universe passholder perks have been extended through 2026. So previously, these were announced through the end of 2025, and they didn't say anything about it extending into 2026, but this extension basically, in my opinion, probably points to the fact that we're likely not going to see annual passes in 2026. The longer this has gone on, the more I've been rather convinced that this is likely looking like 2027 or beyond before annual passes get added in here. Again, due to the wait time issues here, because if you throw annual pass holders into this mix, this park is going to be, the wait times will just go through the roof. So I think as long as these wait times are high, we're likely not going to see an annual pass holder option come to Epic Universe. But these pass holder perks at Epic Universe do include the following: parking, if you're Premier Pass, free valet or prime self-parking, preferred pass, free self-parking, prime self-parking discount, and 50% off valet parking. If you have the Power Pass, you get 50% off regular daytime self-parking each time that you visit. On the dining end, Premier Pass gets you 15% discounts. Preferred Pass gets you 10% discount, and this is the list of restaurants, which I believe is all. There may be one or so that's not on here. That's in Epic Universe, but most of the restaurants you're going to be able to get a discount with your annual pass. You also get it on shopping and services, 15% discount for Premier Pass, 10% discount for Preferred Pass. You also get 10% discount on Darkmoor Monster Makeup Experience and 10% discount on all VIP experiences as well. And then the Coca-Cola Freestyle souvenir cups, again, 15% discount if you're Premier and 10% discount if you are Preferred. So while that's good news that you still get the pass holder perks, and they still have these single individual tickets that you can buy at a discounted rate as well if you're a annual pass holder. But I think this does indicate that more than likely, unless there's a drastic change to the wait times here or these park operations, which is always a chance, but I think as long as it stays as it is and we still see these high wait times, I think it's just looking more and more likely like we are not going to see annual pass options for Epic Universe in 2026. But for some good news, and those that have been along the whole journey of Epic Universe construction, you'll know that there were sightings of flying dragons. These are things Universal had talked about. There will be flying dragons in the Isle of Berk. We saw these being tested during construction. But since the park has been open, we have not seen these dragons. They've said that they're currently working on those dragons, doing a different version of them to look more lifelike. And today, some people caught footage of the fact that there were flying dragons in the Isle of Berk. And so here's one footage that we have up right here. This is from Everything You Need to Know on Twitter X.
There are dragons flying over the Isle of Berk.
So you can see in this that the wings are moving, which was not something the original ones did. And it looks like this is likely a test, but I mean, there are some flying dragons in the Isle of Berk. There was also another viewpoint of this that was caught by HHN Speculation Matt. This is a little bit better view of it. I mean, obviously you can still see, I mean, it looks like a drone, but it looks more lifelike with its wings flapping. But I love to see it because, again, this is one of those things where people were worried that this was something that was promised that would never be delivered upon, as we have seen theme park places do this before, where something's going to be a part of something, it just doesn't end up happening. But I like I said, I have been told that they're working on a 2.0 version to look better. And it seems like we're starting to see some of the initial tests of this. But there's no word from Universal on this. No word if this is going to become part of a daily offering. But the fact that we are seeing them testing at all, I think is a very, very good sign. And more than likely, we'll see more testing of this. And hopefully this will be a daily thing in the Isle of Berk to see dragons flying around, which I've always felt is just another immersion thing that I think is just a really cool aspect to add to a park. This is something I would have loved to have seen at Galaxy's Edge of having, and initially I think they were going to do it with drones that looked like TIE fighters and X-Wings flying around above to kind of give you that immersive feeling. And they never have done that over there. I think they did it at one time for a media event, but after that they didn't do any more of it. But this is something I just think is cool. Does it look like a real dragon? Like, no, you can tell it's a drone. Like, I appreciate the effort and actually going through and doing this 6 months after this park has been opened, that you're still working on this aspect of the experience. And as technology improves, you know, you eventually might be able to have these things look more and more like an actual dragon and not as much like a drone. So I will give them credit for still working on it and trying to get these things to look more lifelike. So I think it's a cool thing, and I'm excited to see it in person. And also, Epic Universe has won some more awards. They did win some awards earlier this year, some theme park dedicated awards. I think they were the Golden Ticket Awards, I believe, or something along those lines. But Universal's Epic Universe and Disney's Haunted Mansion Parlor are recognized with Thea Awards. It says Universal's Epic Universe was recognized with Thea Awards by the Themed Entertainment Association, and Epic received 4 awards, and the Haunted Mansion Parlor received 1. The recipients of the 32nd Annual Thea Awards were announced live from Epic Universe during T's annual International Mixer, which is the Themed Entertainment Association. They're also the ones that have the theme park numbers every year of the attendance numbers. This is from that same group. These awards celebrate the professionals and organizations whose work brings to life outstanding achievements, bold innovation, and the world's most immersive experiences. So Epic won for Attraction, which was Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein Experiment. They also won for Ride Experience of Harry Potter and the Battle of the Ministry, for Theme Park Land on How to Train Your Dragon Isle of Berk, which I'm glad Isle of Berk is getting some recognition. It did not get any recognition in the previous awards, but Isle of Berk is great. Like, it is a fantastic, probably, I mean, if you really think about highly themed lands, it might be the most immersive, highly themed land we've ever seen in a theme park. It's way up there. I mean, it is very, very well done. So I'm glad to see that Isle of Berk is getting some recognition. And then overall theme park was Epic Universe. It also won for that one. And then the Haunted Mansion Parlor received an award for Outstanding Achievement for Themed Food and Beverage Experience, which this is on the Disney Treasure and was replicated on the Disney Destiny. So Epic Universe winning some more awards is something you like to see there. And of course, it's Christmas time. I love Christmas time. And we talked a few weeks ago that Epic Universe was going to get some Christmas decorations, mostly in Celestial Park and also in the Ministry of Magic. There have been some other areas, mostly gift shops, that have also gotten some Christmas decorations. But we can see here that Celestial Park has some Christmas decorations up, which I just love theme parks at Christmas time. I love all the subtle and like even the overt Christmas decorations. I mean, honestly, looking at these pictures, they did more than I kind of thought they were going to do. Again, you're talking about the first year of a theme park. I didn't really know how heavy they would go with these, but I think especially look at these at night, like it just looks awesome. I love Christmas lights. I love Christmas time in the theme parks, especially at night, and it just adds a really cool atmosphere to it. I don't know, I think that looks cool. And again, Celestial Park, I really do think that Celestial Park could really end up being such a cool, like, Christmas market looking type of area of the park in future years when they do more even for Christmas. But yeah, I think that looks really good. And then we also have Wizarding World Ministry of Magic also has Christmas decorations up. That looks interesting. The snake heads with the golden wreath there. Kind of a classy French Christmas look, if you will. And then at night, it does look really cool in here with all the lights they have in the buildings. It does look really good. I first, when I heard about they were going in mostly into just Ministry of Magic and Celestial Park, I was like, Celestial Park will look really cool. I was curious how much they would do in the Ministry of Magic, but I do think it looks pretty awesome. Like that right there with the tree right there in the middle, that just looks good. And that is a cool touch outside the Battle of the Ministry. I think that looks really good. So some more, it's subtle touches, but again, I think Christmas in theme parks is awesome. So I love seeing that. So definitely more Christmas decorations are up at Epic Universe. And like I said, there is some Snoggletog that's in the gift shop in Isle of Berk. And Snoggletog is their kind of like Viking Christmas from the movies there. So they have some cool touches in there, which I do hope in future years that we actually get like a full Snoggletog in Isle of Berk. Also, Super Nintendo World is very likely either next year or the following year to have Christmas in Super Nintendo World. We know we have seen that out in Hollywood. We've seen that in Japan. So that's another area that I think will be really cool. And also Dark Universe has a ton of potential for some sort of like dark Christmas theme, like black Christmas trees. Like I think you could do a lot of cool stuff with Dark Universe for Christmas. Like I even thought about like you look at the, Frankenstein Manor and there's like snow coming from above it, like make it look like there's snow in there. I think there's a lot of potential for Epic Universe, including eventually this park will have a parade. So at some point, you have like a Christmas parade go around in here. You have kind of a Christmas festival going on. Like I think there's just so many things they could do with Epic Universe for Christmas that would be awesome. So I'm happy to see that there's any of it this year. I wasn't really expecting it given its first year. I mean, again, we're barely 6 months into this park being open. So I really wasn't expecting too much when it comes to Christmas stuff, but I was very happy to see that there was at least some things Christmas themed in Epic Universe during its first year of operation. So obviously some cool things here toward the end of the year. And I think we're looking at a brand new theme park wrapping up. I mean, it's not its first year of operation, but the first year it's been open. I think, hey, it's won some awards. It's got some issues to work out, which Universal is aware of this. They even openly have talked about that during earnings calls, thinking they're going to make a lot of headway on the park operations, on the ride capacity, and things of that nature. Already announcing more things coming to Epic Universe, as well as the other parks. So I think if you're talking about a first year of operation or first 6 months of a brand new park, it's never going to be perfect when you're opening up a brand new theme park. But I think the issues that they're running into here are they have a lot of demand and they don't have enough really to service that demand, which is a good problem to have. The bad problem would be that nobody wants to come to this park, and that's not the case. So they have a good problem on their hands. Still a problem. You need to figure that out, but they're already announcing things coming, and with how quickly Universal can build, hopefully these wait time issues can start getting resolved. I mean, again, Universal thinks they can make headway with some of the park operations to make headway on that, but at the very least, you have more attractions coming down the pipe. So within a couple of years, hopefully this will all be relieved, and then they continue to expand this park and obviously get more people in here, get annual pass options in here. But again, I love this park. It looks awesome for Christmas. I'm really excited they're adding more things to it. And as bummed as I am about annual passes, probably not going to be an option in 2026. I understand it. And honestly, the way the park is now with wait times, I wouldn't want an annual pass there if every time you went, it was just going to be 2.5, 3 hour waits for everything. So as much as I want annual passes, I also want it under the circumstances where it's not going to be insane every time you go and you basically can't ride anything. So I think from a guest standpoint, an experience standpoint, I understand why they haven't done it and probably won't do it in 2026. It's just going to really depend on whatever they have announced, how quickly can they move on it, and do they have any short-term things they can do to relieve some of these wait times, getting the ride capacity up there, but maybe some more entertainment options, maybe some more shows, some more things for people to do in the park. There's still a fireworks show that I do know they are working on, but so far we haven't seen anything about it outside of like 4th of July. They might do something around Christmas time for some fireworks, but there's still a parade that I do know in the future they're going to do. So there's still more things that are going to come to this park as part of its daily offerings that are not being included quite yet. So there's still some things to look forward to. But if you are looking to go for Christmas, it's going to be very busy, which is typical of any theme park around Christmas time anymore. It's going to be busy, so just pack your patience. Enjoy the atmosphere. Epic's such a cool park, especially at night. And that's another thing, too. I do hope the park operating hours get later and later for this park because it is beautiful at night. But you've got great weather right now. You got the Christmas atmosphere. And it's my favorite time for theme parks. And so Epic Universe is definitely joining into that category of a great park during the Christmas time to go check out. But either way, that's going to do it for this Epic Universe News Roundup. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel as we do lots of coverage here of Universal Studios, Epic Universe, Disney World, and pop culture. And let us know in the comments, what do you think about all this? And until next time, we will see you in the parks.